A Colored Man in Exeter. A citizen's responsibility number 1. The greatest generation is exiting. Its race run and won. The twin terrors of the Depression and World War II fostered in them the belief that we are all in this together. Many came from nothing. From that standpoint, they understood that fate is the master and life is beyond human control. The current trends of beating the poor and demonizing the hungry are foreign to them. Contrast this with the succeeding generations. We're oblivious. The concept of a hungry nation or of a national fear are mere literary abstractions. Against that background, it always puzzled me why my father, Harold Ward, stayed in the Navy. About 20 years ago, I asked him, "Dad, why'd you stay in the Navy after they discriminated against you?" "They fed me, Michael. I was an orphan in the Depression. After Grandfather Ward had his stroke, no one fed me. Hell, no one wanted me. I was hungry. The Navy fed me 3 meals a day. Nobody else did." Which takes me back to the mid-60s in Exeter, New Hampshire. The hobo was in his 40s. His hair was shaggy, brown, but mostly gray. The long coat he wore had been nice once, but not anymore. It had surrendered to its owner's reality. Unkempt, dirty, tired, and ragged on the edges. He showed up at the back door of my father's restaurant, Harold's Place, at 191 Water Street in Exeter, New Hampshire, late one Saturday fall morning. "Sir, I don't have any money. Could I please have some food?" "Sure. Why don't you wash up in a restroom first? There's a razor and shaving cream if you need a shave." I found this odd because Dad always shaved at home. The hobo came out of the restroom, reveling as he wiped on the aftershave. He looked much better and smiled. "Thank you, sir. Nothing like a shave to set you right." "I know what you mean. Would you like some coffee?" "Yes, sir. If you don't mind, could I have it with cream and 2 sugars, please, sir?" "Michael, get the gentleman some coffee. Bring a glass of water and a setup with you when you come back." I was surprised to hear Dad refer to him as a gentleman. I mean, he was a hobo. Dad rolled a small cask of flour over to the prep bench. "Have a seat." And then he fed him some hot stew, rolls, pie, and coffee. "Did you get enough to eat? Would you like another cup of coffee?" "No, sir, thank you. I'm just fine." He was unstintingly polite. "Where are you headed?" "Lawrence, sir. I'm looking for work." "What do you do?" "Well, I had 15 years in as a laster, but my factory closed last spring. No work up in Bangor. I don't like being out of work. And I won't take the dole. I hate the dole." "I don't like the dole either. It's no way to live. It takes a man's honor and ruins him." The hobo brightened upon hearing this affirmation of his belief. The dole was slang for welfare. For men who had survived the Depression and were able to work, there was nothing more humiliating than relying on government assistance to get by. "You have a family?" "We ran out of money. My wife left. She couldn't take it." "I'm sorry about that." "Yeah, but my kids are living with my brother. He's got a farm. He's making them work, and they're complaining, so they must be okay." He and Dad shared a laugh over this. "My sister in Lawrence says there's work there. I won't be doing my trade, but I can send some money home." "How'd you end up in my place?" "Sir, I heard up the line in Bangor that there was a colored man in Exeter who would feed you if you were short. So when the freight slowed down, I hopped off. I stopped in at the station, and they sent me down here." "Did you serve?" "Yes, sir. In the Army in World War II in Europe." "How's your coat? Do you need shoes?" "No, sir. They're fine. Thanks for asking." If they needed clothes or shoes, he would send them to George and Phillips. The owner, Mr. Friedman, would outfit them with shoes and clothes. "Here's $5. I'm sorry I can't give you more." "No, sir. This is just fine. I can get dinner and breakfast with this." "Thank you. And God bless you, sir." I stared at him as he went out the back door and down the steps into the parking lot. Dad's voice was sharp. "Michael, don't stare at him. He's a veteran and he's down on his luck, but he must be treated with respect because he's served his country. But don't say anything about this up front. Some of the customers will get upset." The hobo took a left around the corner of the building and disappeared. Looking out over the Exeter River, Dad spoke. "Michael, we've got our problems, but this is the best country in the world. The Soviets and the Nazis don't care about their people. They starve them. We're better than that. We fought and won a war to prove that we're better than that. A government has no excuse for not feeding their people when they're down. I was hungry as a child. I will not let anyone, especially a veteran, go hungry. Then he sat down on the flower cast, shook his head, and laughed sadly. They know about me all the way up in Bangor. From 1964 until 1970, hobos riding the Boston and Maine knew, go to the back door of 191 Water Street in Exeter, New Hampshire. The colored man there will feed you. My mother, Virginia, always made sure that there was soap and shaving cream in the restroom for the hobos.